Buddy.
Good night, everyone. Good night,
Good night.
everybody. Welcome back. Welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome, guys. Good night,
Blessings.
everyone.
Bless up on yourself.
Greetings, people. Good night, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Let somebody know that we are live. Come on in. Share the live. Share to at least one person.
Yes.
And go ahead
Yes.
and hit that thumbs up
Yes.
button. Share, share, share. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Good night, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Well, oh, you know the drill.
Yes. Yes.
Come
Yes.
on in, share the live, hit that thumbs up button, double tap the screen, as they say.
Top
We
some
are
roses, guys. Top some roses.
tops and roses. That don't happen over this side, huh?
MoneyGram.
It's a monogram. All
MoneyGram.
right, guys. Good night, everybody. Like he said, tops and roses. Don't not no go so. That don't happen on this side. But welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Welcome,
back.
guys. Welcome.
Welcome to
Yes.
another live with, well, too quick. Good night, people. Welcome back to the channel when two become
One.
one. When two become one, we
Yes.
are the
Yes. Yes.
channel
Yes.
when two become one. And we're all about healing. We're about marriages. We're about passion and individual purpose and as a couple. And when we say healing, we're talking about emotional healing, especially after traumatic experiences and how this trauma affects your relationship
Yes.
and your marriages and your platonic associations and your business links, because trauma affects it all. And so,
Amen.
in one way or the other, we are in some kind of a relationship with people. So, before we go any further, who we are, my name is Shanice Laylor Bogle, and I am somebody who wears many hats. I'm a trauma and relationship expert, like they say, the support if you are experiencing trauma, especially childhood trauma. I'm also an educator. I'm an author, speaker, you name it, you name it. And hello, Angel. Is that Angel Peck or Angel? Hope I pronounced that right.
Yes. Bless up,
And
Angel.
this is, before I go any
Yes.
further,
My name is
this
Anthony
is
Bogle.
the co host and founder of this platform. Hi. So, who are you?
Hey guys, welcome. My name is Anthony Bogle. I'm a marriage and relationship speaker.
Whoop,
I'm
whoop,
also an
whoop.
author.
Yeah.
As I said, guys, if you have not gotten my book as yet, it's called The Great Reset. It's on
Yep.
Amazon. Go get it, go get it.
Go
It's
get
by
it.
Anthony Bogle. Welcome again, guys. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for tonight's blessings.
All
Welcome to all
right.
those who are here. And we know that some might be passing through.
Yeah. Big up the algorithm, the
Yes.
virtual live.
Yes.
Yes, guys. But thank you so much for being on.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to our
Thank
day
you.
ones. Thank
Thank
you
you.
to those who've always been here with us on a Monday and on a Thursday. And thank you also to those who are new to the channel. You subscribed, you didn't have to, but now you are part of the family. Thank you for those who liked, double tapped. And thank you for those who will be on. If you are joining the replay, you may go ahead and put your comments in the chat or in the comment section, and we will definitely be interacting with it as we go along. So, tonight, what are we talking about? Let's go. We are talking about how trauma impacts your relationship, my relationship, how trauma impacts or affects the accountability in
Yes.
oh, you were waiting on that
Yes,
part. The
that's the part I'm waiting on.
accountability, that buzzword in relationships and in marriages as well. So, big topic, right? Because
Yes.
somebody always say that women don't like to take accountability. Right? Who said that? I wonder who said that.
Yes, yours truly.
But
Yours truly.
but in general, the truth is trauma shapes, or anybody who is affected by traumatic experiences, there is a shaping that is going to happen to the mental, the emotional, the
Yes.
lens of the person, the view of the person, the perspective through which and by which that person now lives their life, because life doesn't look the same anymore. So traumatic experiences, these are horrible experiences that people may face,
Mm,
and you will definitely not see love and life and business and whatever the same after you've gone through something horrendous. It
amen.
will not be the same unless there is healing that happened. So I
Yes,
want you to go
yes,
ahead and
yes,
share a
yes,
little
yes,
bit.
yes, yes. I'm happy that we actually did this topic. It's and I always say, it hits differently when you have gone through it.
Yeah.
Hey, Blackley. Oh, Blackley.
And
Yes,
Blakely.
Blakely or
Hello.
Blackley. Good night, guys. It hits differently when you have gone through it. You've understand the magnitude of how you
Yeah.
know you know the lack of accountability really affects our relationship,
Yeah, that
affects
part.
affects our marriage. And so I'm really happy that we're able to do it,
Yeah.
because I feel like I strongly believe that it's something that really affects a lot of
It
marriages,
does.
a lot of relationships where the pointing a finger, is your fault, is my fault, is your fault.
Yeah.
And even though we're doing the traumatic aspect of it,
Yeah.
um it doesn't take away the weight when it comes to just an individual taking
Right. Like
accountability.
character wise.
Yes, you don't have to be somebody that is going through traumatic
Right.
experiences where,
Great point.
yeah, so we don't want to take the weight off because we're talking about the trauma aspect.
Right.
And so tonight,
That's a good point.
hopefully, as we dive into it, somebody can understand, or a couple can, get the full knowledge
Yeah.
of how trauma really impacts or blind, could it's able to blindside you when it comes to just how you navigate in this
Yeah.
whole aspect of, taking accountability. What do you think? Narration point fingers.
Who do you think? Hi, Highland Cuisine. She said, who do you think? Oh, that's a big one because guess what? They're, like you said, that the females tend to, typically, so based on statistics, it's typical that the females would. Why? Because there is a more emotional wiring to that kind of brain, especially if that person or that woman has faced some kind of imprints or trauma in the past. So there is that wiring because she now lives from the emotional side. And so it's not that men don't do it, but men are more logical or more rationalizing in terms of their approach to certain things. And it makes me wonder that if you're more logical, then maybe you'll point finger more to
Yes, yes,
because
and it's surprising looking at
yeah.
the stats. They said women are more likely to accept defeat,
Yeah,
in a sense. Yeah,
that
yeah,
part.
and that was kind of shocking because
But that is so understandable.
no, no, it is when you look deep. You look a little deeper,
Yes.
you realize because of it comes from social construct. How you were brought up.
Yeah.
Men were taught to be more,
The dominant force.
yeah, yeah, dominant, assertive,
Yeah.
and so we have to stand in the gap when it comes to that,
And
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 not
the,
fold. When it comes to a woman, she's more on the nurturing side and creating
yes.
harmony and peace.
Right.
You get what I'm
So
saying?
she wants to keep the peace. She
Yes.
wants to keep the home, the family happy. So the females would sometimes, a lot of times, not even sometimes, women I find like to um hide or mask what they truly feel. So they will protect the war on the inside to not start a war on the outside. But then that's why a lot of females or a lot of women are unhappy
Yes.
because they don't really say what they feel. And that's a part of what we're going to talk about tonight. Why are the constraints or why are these parameters set up in these relationships? A lot of time it's traumatic experiences or imprints of something happened. I don't want to blow this up again, and so let me shift back or avoid taking accountability to pacify what's going on. Okay, do you think a female has to be through some form of trauma? No, absolutely not. Like we said before, it's not always trauma. Yes, traumatic imprints are different from traumatization, but at the same time, it could be culture, it could be socialization, it could be the home she was exposed to, like the dynamics of mommy and
Yes.
daddy, or having no parent at all. So it depends on that person's case or that exposure, because any way we take it, it's prior lifestyle that is going to impact how you show up, attachment styles, trauma responses, love language. So it's a lot of different variables and layers as to why someone ends up pointing finger, or a certain gender point a finger more than the other. There's a lot of variables.
Yes, and even though, even if it's not based on trauma, it's, as you said, it's pretty much an imprint of something, or some situation along life's journey.
Right.
So it could be past relationships.
Yeah.
You might be in a relationship where you just feel like you did not have a voice. It could be, as you are talking about, your family structure, your family background, how love was modeled to you, or
Yeah,
the
so we
one
get into
fixed
that
trauma issue,
afterwards.
right? So these are different, variables when it comes to just how you begin to see yourself when it comes to taking accountability.
Yeah.
You understand? And again, when it goes back to, as I was talking about social construct, in the workforces, just in society, women are held in a would I say a high esteem when it comes to how you carry yourself, how you speak. It's almost like you can't do what a man
Do
do and
and still
still
be
be the
a
same.
lady.
Yeah, and so it's a fight to. It's almost like to prove yourself. It's almost like a fight to prove yourself. Again, as I said, when you're in the workforce and let's say you've given a leadership position,
Yeah.
you're looked at different than a man that is placed in a leadership position, right?
Yep.
If something happens, it's almost like, listen, I told you that woman can't do this, a woman can't do that, and so you begin to hide from that whole aspect of, hey, I can fail. You understand? You want
Right.
to be up there with the let's say with the men, but be in a certain position where you're not looked at as weak.
Right.
Be in a certain position where you're not looked at as, you know,
Or regarded as less than.
less than, pretty much. So it's
Yeah.
it's a constant fight to prove oneself. Also, when it comes to, listen, I can make decisions. Also, I can do this and I can do that. And if you're not careful, it consumes you.
Yeah.
Where in the capacity of being in a relationship that
Yeah.
requires
Yeah.
to be vulnerable,
Right, and step back
yeah,
and
to
say,
say, listen, I actually did something, and hey, it was wrong, or hey, I am sorry.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's a constant fight. So I believe
Right.
that's one of the
Yeah.
biggest reasons.
And again, and thanks for sharing that. That's a great point, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not necessarily about men versus women tonight. It's
Yes.
about generally how traumatic experiences impact the accountability. So this can be on the side of the man, on the woman. Remember, guys, double tap the screen so we can actually impact the more views. More views mean more families are actually being impacted, and more relationships are actually getting a chance to remedy what's actually going wrong or not so great in the relationship. So this is something we experience too. It's not just, oh, we're telling you and we don't know anything about this. Absolutely not. We have been through this and we're not dead. So we're still navigating life and relationship and love just like
Yes.
everybody else.
Yes.
And so we always say it's not no couple's goals, is take what you can get and work on your relationship, work on your family. So with trauma, somebody asks, how does one fix a trauma issue? The main part of that, to not go too far into that topic, is it's going to take some work, it's going to take some healing, because like they say, the traumatic experiences you faced is not necessarily your doing, but the healing part is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. So whatever you went through, if you need to reach out to someone to get that support, trauma informed support, one of the main things I like to tell people, if you have a traumatic wound from the past that is not resolved, ensure that the help you get is trauma informed. So it's not that general counselors can't help, but you want to get to the root of your situation. And with trauma, it takes in your body and your mind. And that is why trauma informed help is Very important to
Yes.
cater to that need. So, to go back to the question, how does trauma impact the relationship and the accountability in the relationship? The truth is, when you have been through traumatic experiences, you always feel threatened. You always feel threatened and you'll always feel attacked. And people will say you're thin skin, but it's not that necessarily. Trauma changes the state of your brain. And so, if the state of the brain is altered, I'm not talking about, oh, this is in your mind. Because that's why people think that, oh, you can get over it. Snap out of it. You can get over it. Or stop doing that. Or you're grown now. I expect better from you. Remember, wherever and whatever age and stage you experience these wounds, you are still operating like that emotionally.
Yes.
So you're growing biologically, you're older, but emotionally you're still operating at the same level. So if you were hurt at 9, you bring forth a 9-year-old, a preteen behavior in your relationships, even in your marriage.
Yes.
Even in your marriage, you'd be surprised as to the behavior patterns that exist in a marriage, almost like you're with a child. And so, one of the main things that we see with the accountability is the fear of conflict or rejection. So, sometimes when it comes on to taking responsibility for your own actions, when you are faced with something that you may have done, and it's hard to really voice, I'm sorry, because I'm sorry makes you feel powerless.
Yes.
With me, when traumatic wounds used to ride me, I'm sorry couldn't come out of my mouth because I felt stupid. I felt foolish. I felt like I was attacked. And I felt like the other person must bear some weight too. Because remember, trauma makes you feel powerless and helpless. Why? Something was taken from you. And if something was taken, the brain now goes into the negativity bias of the brain. Oh, people will always take from you. So protect yourself, shield yourself, guard yourself. You're not wrong, it's them. It's them. So looking at yourself is not easy. Pointing finger at your own self is not easy. Pointing finger at your own life is absolutely not easy. So guess what? You're going to rather point finger at somebody else or you shy away or you step back from taking accountability because responsibility is like exposure.
Yes.
Responsibility and actually saying, hey, it was me, I was wrong. You'd have to be humble. Humility is key. And with a person who is traumatized or who is experiencing traumatic wounds, humility and vulnerability is not going to come forth easily because that person fears rejection. And so anything I have to do to keep my reputation, to keep me from being accused, I'm gonna do it because I was always already either teased or mistreated or hurt in the past, and I don't want it to happen again. So imagine somebody holding you accountable. It's not the easiest thing to say,
Yes. Yes.
it's for real. Because pointing that finger means they're telling you, you have a flaw. You're not perfect.
Faulted.
You are faulty.
Yes.
You're
And,
faulty.
and I remember, just as you mentioned that, I remember when, we had our moments, just trying to understand or to navigate in the whole conversation or just, how we communicated each other
Yeah.
when it comes to our feelings. I remember, when I went and, well, that's distracting. I remember when I
Focus.
used to, just share how I felt, mention certain things when it
Yeah.
came to my emotions. And the reality of that is that you will meet somebody
Yeah.
that will express themselves more than how you would. And why
Yeah.
I'm saying that is that when I used to express myself to you and share how I felt about, certain things and it wasn't anything that was trying to say, listen, you're less than, or it would just just trying to express myself.
Yeah.
And eventually it's almost like you took it as, I'm saying, listen, something is wrong with you.
Right, right.
You're, as you said, you're
Yeah.
faulty.
Because that's gonna be that's the dominant feeling. When you experience past pain, you're not going to want to actually feel that blame again. And so the defense mechanism is gonna be very high, especially in a relationship. You'll actually run away from that responsibility because again, you don't want to look like the one with a problem. And so sometimes I remember you'd say, oh, women just don't like to take accountability. But it's not that women don't like to take accountability. A lot of women, especially statistics show that women or females have faced multiple, especially from childhood. Statistics show that the increase or the heightened numbers for girls and women who have been either abused or, some kind of imprint from the past, where when they grow up and they become adults, guess what? It is not very easy to transfer in a role where, oh, I'm healed, I'm whole, unless deliberate work is done.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. That can that
Yeah, I'm
person
gonna I'm
block?
gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. And listen to me. If y'all are coming over here being rude and disrespectful,
block.
we're gonna block you. So you better know how to operate when you come on the channel, okay? And I know some of you are just passing through, but do not get it twisted. We will block you and we will report you. All right? So you want to share anything?
No
Well,
report. You don't have to.
you want to share anything while we
Yes,
continue?
yes. So that's pretty much. So that's pretty much. Yes.
What do you want to share? All right, let me share number two. All right, so number two is distorted self-perception. One other thing is trauma is going to erode your self-worth. When it comes on to self-worth, trauma will mess up your self-worth. So in a relationship, when your self-perception becomes twisted, guess what? You're not going to want to accept any blame. Listen, I've worked with some people who they will never accept blame. Sometimes it's in business, sometimes it's in church, sometimes it's friendships. Some people it is hard, and even like I said, even with myself, it was very hard to accept or see blame because the self-perception is I'm never wrong. And even if you don't directly think that, your partner interprets your lack of running to accountability as this person behave like they know it all.
Yes.
Or this person is not safe for me because they are perfect. They behave perfect. And so with that, it's really a self battle. I promise you guys, when it comes on to things that are being said in your relationships, things that are being done in the relationship, it's not always your partner unwilling to. It's because there is that hindrance of what they have been through before or how they have been forced to operate from the past.
Amen.
Want me to share number three?
Yes.
All right. So the other one is hypervigilance and misinterpretation. So the survival mode in people, when it comes down to people living in survival mode means that you are going to actually feel like everything is a fight. There is not that confidence. There is not that assurance that, listen, whatever I am going through, I can stand on who I am, my identity. The identity is going to be bombarded. So when the identity is bombarded, you will always feel like, hey, anybody who challenge who I am, I must pop off. I must crash out. Look at the internet. There's a lot of people who will never sit down and teach a lesson, especially on YouTube.
Yes.
Overall on the internet. Because there are people who are either going through some things, and we do see a lot of people who are not so well emotionally. They come out, they show out, they speak, they're not even supporters of the channel, but they will come, they'll say stuff. There are people all over the world, And guess what? If you are not secure, you'd hide away from the world.
Yes.
Because your identity is being challenged. Your reputation is being challenged. A healed person doesn't care about that. A healed person is not going to allow people who are emotionally unwell and who are unstable to stop what is happening in their relationship, in their ministry, in their business, in their life.
Amen.
So there is no fight, there is no struggle needed. And the misinterpretation of others. Listen, you see, when you're actually living a healed life, you see straight through people. You see straight through dysregulation. You will discern easily people who are unstable. You will discern very quickly people who are unwell, because they will come, they will show out, and it will be masked like, guess what? Oh, I'm just challenging you because you said something wrong. No, a lot of time is those people are unhealed. You can be assured that people who try to constantly hit at your self-perception, or how to, when somebody's also unstable, they try to bring that out in you. A lot of times it's projection. And so you respond and retaliate in a way that will also expose your healing or your unhealed wounds. And that is why I like to tell people, be very secure in yourself. Be very secure in yourself. And healing is urgent.
Yes.
Healing is important, but it is also urgent. Timing is very much key in healing. Don't sit around and wait, because people will trigger you easily if you are not healed. You would have to do something really, really bad on this channel for us to block you. Normally, we just remove your comments and keep it pushing, keep it going. And I am so happy to be at that stage, because I've seen so many internet feuds, internet battles. It is not easy to actually come and do what the Lord is directing you to do. Because I tell you, there are many different types of people on the internet, right? Wink, wink. But at the same time, people really need love.
Yes.
People need love. And so if you are not a candidate of healing, you will walk around consistently triggered, consistently not being aware of how to operate from a healed place.
Especially when you're talking about trauma.
Right.
When the conversation is about trauma.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We see it all the time. Every time we touch a certain topic, it's like the enemy rile up. Oh, he doesn't want that to be talked about.
Yes.
People don't want that to be talked about. Relationships and trauma and healing are like threats to the devil. The enemy hates you healed. The devil hates you aware.
Yes.
Because when you are aware and you're healed and you're whole, that's when the Lord have full control of your mind. And when God has control of your mind, when God has control of your heart, he has control of your soul.
Yes.
And when God has control of your soul, he can work in your relationships. He can pour through humility. He can pour through your submission. Not just to your man or to your woman, but to him. And that is why I say, you don't just heal for, your relationship. You want your relationship to be cute. You want your relationship to be happy. You heal for yourself so God can have his way through you. Because a mind and a heart that is unhealed is a mind and a heart that cannot operate in the will of God. That soul is going to be compromised. You'll see through your pain. You will hear through your pain. You will misinterpret what your partner say.
Yes.
You will misinterpret what your pastor say. You will misinterpret what your neighbors say. You will misinterpret all your co-workers, how your colleagues, how your associates, your friends. You will hear wrong. You will hear things that are not there. You'll see things that are not there. You will think things. Your mind will become bombarded with ruminating thoughts, not just about yourself, but about other people. And you will become hypersensitive to rejection. And when I say that, what do you mean, Shanice? But when you're hypersensitive to rejection, you constantly think people are out to get you.
Fight and flight mode.
You constantly think that you are the reject.
Yes.
You constantly feel like you're abandoned by friends, by others, by your partner. I like to tell people, show me the proof. Show me the proof. Because sometimes what we perceived is not what is. And there's a saying that says how you perceive the thing is going to be how you receive the thing. How you perceive it, hello, is how you perceive it, is how you receive it. So how you see things is how it's going to come to you. I remember those days when I used to perceive a certain way, and my perception created images that were not there. And I'm not
Wow.
talking about psycho. I'm talking about actually thinking that, oh, this bottle was placed here because, to make it look like I'm the one who left it. A faulty mindset. And a faulty mindset a lot of times come from past unresolved situations. Imagine you take that into your relationship. Imagine you take that into your marriage. Imagine you're walking around like an easily triggered person, and that is why people would not want to be around you. People have a hard time enjoying themselves around you because to them you are thin-skinned. To your partner, you stop the flow of fun. You're no fun to be around. You're prideful, not submissive. And I'm talking about men and women. Tonight is not just about women because they hear certain words like submission. Because we like to throw things on the ladies, right?
Yes.
But we're talking about men and women. It's not going to be easy to actually navigate a relationship if accountability is not taken. And I'm talking on both sides. Taking responsibility for what was done is going to be affected if you had a painful past. We touched 2 points so far. One, because of a distorted self-perception. Trauma erodes your self-worth. And because of that, you try to protect it. You try to protect it. Absolutely not, I don't know how to rap. So you try to protect it. And you try to protect this because the self-image is fragile. When the self-image is fragile, you try to grab onto whatever straw of self-worth that is there. So you resort to the negativity bias of the brain. You're wrong, I'm not. Something is wrong with you, nothing is wrong with me. No, it must be you that's the problem. The world is bad. The world is out to get me. Because that's the lens of a traumatized person. Everybody else is faulty. You did it. But we hardly see ourselves. And that is going to stifle a relationship. That was one of them. The next one was the fear of conflict or rejection. The fear of being almost like punished. And so what's the defense mechanism? We shut down. We shut down and we shift blame to protect ourselves. Because if we are wrong, it may start a problem. How many of you have parents who would treat you badly or blame you? You always felt blame in the family. You always felt like you're the one who was talked down to, ridiculed. By the time you get in a relationship, who wants to be blamed again?
Yes.
Because you spend all your years being blamed.
Going back to the same.
It's like your brain is saying, your body is saying, I felt this before. I know this feeling and I'm not going back there. So I will fight to ensure that I'm not thrown under the bus ever again. Because that was how I felt sometimes. You will not attack me. You will not smear my reputation. You will not smear my conscience of feeling like you're trying to blame me. Because I felt faulty as a child. Imagine your dad leaving. You're going to feel like you are worth nothing. And so healing has a lot to do with reconciled identity, especially through Christ, especially through Jesus. A reformed identity. My God, a reformed identity. So that was 2. The next one was the hypervigilance. Number 3, hypervigilance and misinterpretation. Antsy. You see those people who are easily angered. easily flustered, hypervigilant, not easy to rest, always in a frenzy, loud. And we say passionate. Especially us women, we are passionate. But a lot of times it is a dysregulated nervous system. A nervous system that is not yet soothed or regulated because of past experience. We're not safe. We don't feel safe, and so we can't give off safety. When people listen to us in our relationships, in our marriages, we're not sounding relaxed and soothing. We don't know how to set the temperature to build a home. Hyperactive, hypervigilant. And this comes with a lot of misinterpretation. Why? Because the wiring of the brain is on the right side mainly, which is the hurt, emotive thinking. When you're in the emotional thinking, you will throw tantrums like a kid. You'd cry for attention. You would point fingers. You would say it's not you, it's them.
Yes.
Because you're looking for that safety, that validation. You want that I see you. I still love you. I still think you're awesome. That's when a lot of people admit to stuff. When the safety of the environment is established. If you know you're going to be ostracized and be a cast out, you're not accepting anything. So if the environment is not safe, it is not going to be easy for somebody to say, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Please forgive me. And in relationships, that is why a lot of people don't take accountability. Check the atmosphere of that relationship. It is not safe. And even if the other person not thinking that, oh, I wasn't going to chastise you, how would they know that? Because we have to give grace also to those who don't like to take accountability. The part that we're looking at tonight of why this is happening is trauma. But like somebody asked, is this the only reason? No. There are other reasons why people don't. But tonight we're looking at the traumatic aspect. And if we've done videos on the impact of trauma on the brain and the body. If you understood what trauma is and what it does to your body and to your brain and to your major organs and your immune system and your nervous system, you would realize you're walking around with a compromised spouse. A corrupted quote-unquote spouse, because nothing is the same like it is to you. Everything is a problem. Everything is viewed through the lens of, I wonder if this is the time when I'm going to be disappointed. I wonder if the other shoe is going to drop. I wonder if I'm safe in this love. I wonder if this love is going to last. I wonder if their love will find me. God, I see what you're doing for others, but I don't see you doing it for me. So the patience, the virtues, the fruit of the Spirit don't get a chance to mellow in your life. You see why we're saying healing is soul work as well? Soul work so that God can get the glory out of you. Because people who are compromised emotionally still can't submit fully to the will of God. Because you don't trust him either. You also, it's going to manifest through the lens of how you see God. It's going to manifest through the lens of how you interact with God as Father, God as protector, God as provider, God as Savior and King. Most times we accept him as Savior, King of the world, but when it comes on to personal titles, like Lord, hands off, like you're coming too close now. You're starting to remind me of my father. You're starting to remind me of that uncle, of what they did to me. You're not accepting him as those personal titles to you.
Yes.
It feels too close and he's going to disappoint you. That's what your brain is saying.
And forgiver.
And the forgiver of sins. So you can't even be forgiven because you don't even forgive the people who hurt you as yet.
Or forgive yourself.
Or forgive yourself.
Or you feel like your life is merited. Like you have to be perfect.
Work for it.
Yeah, you have to work for grace, or you have to work for his forgiveness.
Yep.
You know, so
Absolutely.
That's definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm just letting you cook, man. You're cooking.
Let it go. All
you,
right. So
you're cooking.
we
You're
are
cooking.
at number four, five, four, one of them. So we are at learned helplessness. Another big one for people with traumatic experiences. The reason that the accountability is hard is because sometimes, people feel like when there is trauma in the body, remember we started out by saying trauma is in the mind, the belief system, and the body system. That means your body feels it. The physiology of the body feels the drainage, it feels the stress, it feels the imprint of the trauma. And so, if someone feels that way, there is a sense and feeling of doom and gloom. There's a feeling of hopelessness. There's a feeling of helplessness. And so, we can actually learn helplessness. I don't want to apply for that job because I just can't do it.
Yes.
I don't want to go on vacation because I just can't have fun. I don't want to go in a relationship because I just can't love people right. I don't want to get married because I just don't know how to stay around another person for years. I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to because it's just not going to work out. So we can actually learn helplessness. We can actually train our nervous system to become helpless. And guess what starts to happen? We start to feel the helplessness. We feel it through our energy levels. The cells get drained because, as psychologists say, trauma is also a cellular level um, activation that's going on, a drainage of your energy. So when it comes on to, and I'm not talking about aura and those things new age wise, I'm talking about your biological makeup, your cellular capacity to do things. You get tired easily. You get overwhelmed easily. If people talk too much, you start get turned off. If the post is too long on social media, you just can't do it. I'm somebody who's like that sometimes. If I see too much of a long post, I say, I'm sorry, I'm not reading it. I am not reading it. I cannot take this on. And I used to have to measure and honor the capability of my mind and my body. Some of us just try to do too much when you know you have things emotionally dealing with. And like you rightly said, it's the culture. Because we feel like when we're battered and bruised and we do a lot, we are worthy. We're worthy to be loved. But if we don't do a lot and we don't be battered and bruised, you're not doing as much and you don't really desire and deserve the praise. So the merited behavior.
Yes.
And so honoring your capabilities. I can't take on 4 hours of listening to that. So let me do 1 or 1.5. Honor the capability of your mind and your body. So the learned helplessness will drain you. You will be so much drained faster than another person who is not affected by trauma. And so when you feel powerless about a situation, you will not accept blame. Because to go deal with the blame is still going to be too much for you. That alone is going to drain you. So a lot of people either lie, or they mask, or they push away, or they change the subject.
Yeah, avoid it.
They avoid the subject. And I think I heard you say they shift blame, or you didn't say that?
Yeah, shifting blame and avoiding I wouldn't say, well, conflicts, or avoiding certain types of conversation,
Yep.
because it reveals what is really going on in the inside.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, sometimes, especially a person that is looking to get married, they want to get married to a person that is emotionally available.
Yeah.
And as I always say, when you look for that type of person, let's say you get that type of person, it that type of communication shows up what is really going on inside of you.
Yep.
So if you're not approaching this relationship or this marriage from a healed perspective,
Yeah.
you're going to be triggered. You're going to be triggered when it comes to how you express yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about love, I remember when I used to ask you, like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? It's like one words and two words.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, because I can't take too much. Like, too much.
yeah,
Asking enough questions is overwhelming.
it's just overwhelming when it comes to
Capacity
just
limited.
to express yourself. You can't talk about love. You can't really break down your emotions
Right.
because it is
It's
distorted,
too much.
and you're looking to a lens that, as I always say, is distorted.
Yeah.
So I remember those moments where I used to come to you and I would say, "Hey, so how do you feel about the relationship? How do you feel about this and how
I'm
do you
like,
feel
here
about
we
that?"
go again.
Yeah, and it brings you to that place
Yeah.
where you start to wonder, like, are you truly invested in this marriage?
Absolutely.
You understand? Are you truly? Are you here?
He's not asking the no version, guys.
you,
That's the
you get
then
you get what I'm saying?
version.
Like, that is the danger.
But it's true.
That's the danger
Yeah.
of entering into a relationship. Entering into a marriage
Yeah.
with that weight carrying, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, as I always use the terminology, you'll just be floating in that relationship,
Yeah.
because emotionally, it's almost fight and flight when it comes to whether it's a conversation, whether it's really protecting your quote unquote peace,
Yeah.
your peace of mind, that's that safe space.
Yep.
You understand? That is where your mindset is, protecting your safe space. You want to be in your own zone.
Yes.
You don't want to reach out, you don't want to give, you don't want to express, you don't want to share, you don't want to find out, because
Right.
in those moments you're not even asking your partner, listen, how do you feel about the relationship? And then I remember when I used to come and say, like, your relationship perfect, like you don't have an issue, right?
Yeah.
You don't have an issue because
I'm not easily bothered.
yeah, and so it can become a problem, because
Yeah.
if you have a partner that is really the one that is coming to you about certain things,
Yeah.
if they feel like, okay, you're not doing this, and they come to you about it, it's going to be triggering.
Yeah. It is.
It's going to look like, listen, I am the problem, I am the problem, I am the problem, I am the problem, because this person keeps coming to me and saying this, when
Yeah.
they're just sharing, like, listen, I want to get to know you.
That's healthy though.
I
That is
want to,
healthy.
yeah, even though you're my wife, I want to know you.
Yeah.
I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you want. And I want to know how am I showing up in this marriage.
Right.
Am I the person that, you say, listen, this is the person that you want to marry.
Yeah.
Am I showing up as that person?
Yeah.
But there's nothing, because again,
Isolation is comfortable.
you're in that safe space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when that person comes to you and they're asking questions and they're saying this, and it's almost like they're forcing you to become somebody that
Yes.
you're really not.
Absolutely.
You get what
And
I'm saying?
that's a very good point, and that's a lie of the brain. That's the identity the brain creates, the brain and the body. The belief system gets really thwarted, because remember now, guys, the nervous system is like dough. Those of us who need dumplings, every experience you go through, it shapes it. And so the negativity bias, we always talk about that of the brain. If the brain is going to resort to something negative, more than no, it grabs the positive. Why? Because the number one job of the brain is to self-preserve the body. The body is going to preserve itself. So if the relationship is the wound, or a potential wound, because a prior relationship broke you, you are not opening up to your new one. That person will have to consistently prove safety, and you will have to do the work, because sometimes that person does everything, and when you're done, you wreck them
Yes.
in the process, and you're still there, hard and solid as a rock, because the work has to be done personally.
Yes.
Remember, we're dealing with mindsets, ideologies, the psychological part of the brain. We're dealing with the body imprint. We're dealing with nervous system rewiring, subconscious programming, spiritual aspects, soul work.
Yes.
Trauma is holistic in destruction. And so trauma has to be holistic in healing as well. The healing part has to be holistic as well. And so, like you said, if you leave your spouse or your partner like that, they're sharing and carrying an emotional load and burden alone. And that in itself is betrayal
Yeah.
of love and
The
trust.
highest
It's
form.
one of the highest forms of betrayal.
Yes.
Because you see, I see you have a word there, and I like that. The follow through of things that are said are also going to be messed up. People who don't see themselves easily, or especially from an unhealed wound, will say, for example, I don't know if this is what you mean, but like, okay, I'm going to fix that tomorrow. And it changes a day or two and then go right back to not seeing themselves. Because it's not a programming, it's not a part of the ideal, not the ideology, but the identity. It's not a part of the identity. The identity is really to blame game, shift, victim blame, manipulate. Because a part of that is manipulative, you know. You're going to get some underlying manipulation, because the manipulation may not be intentional, but it is indirect and sometimes directly done to keep the wounded person safe. Remember, the wounded person does not want to be thrown under the bus ever again. And so if you realize your partner is creating these invisible walls around responsibility and accountability, the walls are there, it makes growth and repair so much harder. Because like psychologists say, every relationship goes through harmony, disharmony, and then repair.
Yes.
But a lot of people separate during disharmony phases, or the phase of disharmony, because the repair and the growth is proven to be stuck in the I'm not changing cycle. You see, when disharmony comes about, it exposes the inner traits of each individual. Harmony is more the unison of the togetherness. You see, when this harmony comes about, it's exposing the strength of the relationship,
Yes.
and the individual capabilities. The wounds that were never spoken about, the things that were never dealt with, the how you stand as a person, how you stand as a woman, how you stand as a man, that starts to show up. And then if repair comes, it's because you both decided individually to weather the storm, work on yourself, commit to daily growth, commit to soul care, spiritual work in terms of fasting and prayer and reading the word and living according to the word of God. That's when people move forward in love. They say when the triangle gets smaller, the couple is moving closer to Jesus, who is the author and the finisher of our faith and the institution of marriage. So the other one, the learned helplessness and the trusting the wounds, when we trust the wounds of the early relationship, because this is what, number 5, 6, when we trust the wounds of the early relationships, we are taught that vulnerability is unsafe. When it comes down to people who've been hurt in the past, and you see that, okay, I can't be my realest self. I can't be honest. I cannot be reflective or confess wrongdoings, because if I trust this person too much, they may use it against me. They may end up leaving anyway. So why am I going to bear it all to this person? Or I was never grown that way. Or as a man, I'm seen as weak. So why would I confess to no woman? Well, I'm not going to talk about my ranks in a female.
Yes.
Because all women do is use your pain against you. They're the weaker vessel anyway. I'm a man. I can actually do as I say or do as I want to do, and you can't do anything about it. I run my show. Because that's how a lot of men think. They'll never accept or say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Then you couldn't. And females will go into their emotional wiring and, no, you could have looked at it this way, da da da, been there. So we both, male, female, have a responsibility to take accountability in a relationship. If we expect growth and repair and trust and love and safety, because if not, it's going to wear down not just yourself, it's going to wear down the health of that relationship.
And wear down your partner.
And wear down your partner as well.
Yes, you wear down your partner. You know, that's why I always say this, and sometimes you wish you knew. We're giving God thanks for where we are. No, I promise you, the grace of God
Hallelujah.
and personal work. But I must say, that is why we always encourage persons, especially. It's one thing when you're already married, but it's another thing, especially if you're not yet married. Take time to know yourself. Take time to work on things that are patterns that you see that are unhealthy. Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're seeking to get married, you can bring all that load on the person that you're with. And I promise you, a lot of persons get married in that position, feeling like marriage can, save them, or marriage can help the situation. Oh, if I get married, it's going to be different. But no.
Yeah.
Marriage exposes you, because the areas that you lack, the areas that you feel like, okay, I can skip tippy toe over and hide and go. No, it's going to expose you. Because a lot of times you get married to persons that really force that side of you to come out. And if it's not able to show up, you know what else is going to show up.
Yep.
Toxicity. You understand?
Yep.
Anger, malice, all bitterness, all that you have had bottled up, that you feel like, okay,
that are the masking of that.
You feel like, okay, love is going to just keep bubbling. No. You get what I'm saying?
Irritation.
Yes, that trauma affects the emotional side of you, and that side of you is so important to a relationship.
Yeah.
Whether the partner is not that emotional, whether that at the end of the day, it's going to affect that side, because the emotional side of somebody plays a vital role in propelling, uplifting a relationship. It's like the wheels of the relationship.
Yes.
You understand? So I always say, listen, do the work, take the time to know the things that you are struggling with, the things that you find yourself it's just replaying in your life. Take the time to work on these things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as you always say, a partner cannot love trauma out of you.
Yes.
They can only love you through it.
Through it.
Right?
Yep.
But how many partners are out there that you can find that has the capacity to love a person through their traumatic experiences? I'm not telling you don't seek love. You understand? But how many persons, how many men or how many women do you think that is equipped, right? Meet them and tell them, say, go on to school, go learn about this, because you were going, this is what is going on inside, and I want you to be knowledgeable about it, so whatever be the case.
Yeah.
That doesn't normally happen. And so when you meet somebody, they're expecting a whole person to come around. You understand? They float on the love boat, and everybody nice, and we go out and we enjoy ourselves. But at the same time, when the disharmony phase comes, you're now seeing a different side.
Right.
And the person is saying, listen, I don't have the capacity to carry this.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have the capacity to carry this. And so you can save yourself a lot of problems, a lot of trouble, just working on yourself. Working on yourself. Don't matter what is going on around you, who's getting married, who's doing this. Work on yourself, because again, you have a lot of couples, you have a lot of single persons right now. Yeah. Especially when you have children and all of that. We talk about recycled trauma. It's a lot of that is going on out in the world right now.
Yep.
You understand? Traumatic persons looking all pretty.
Yeah.
Hair well nice and shirt well pressed and speaking eloquently. But deep down, once you start, you get into something, get to know that person, you start seeing things that you're saying, no man, this off.
Yeah.
But look at this way, it's hard to say this is off if you're yourself is not at a healed place.
Yes. Yep.
You're right. If you're not at a healed place, you're not able to say
This is
this
off.
is off.
Because your discernment is off too.
You understand?
Yeah.
Two distorted thing, and so you're now in a trauma bond, and it is toxic.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, the straight toxicity. And if you're not careful, it feels like safety because that is what you're used to.
That's what you know.
That is what you're used to. And so you're in a cycle, a never ending cycle. And that is pretty much
Yeah.
that is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's so important to do the work. We're not just saying it. We know what it is like. We know what it's like. We've been there.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Right? We've been there. We've been there. We've been there. It's not a nice look.
Yep.
It's not a nice look. Right? And so you have to do the work, especially men.
Yeah.
A lot of men, they look at when you talk about, and I'm saying this while you're talking. I'm just looking at this the world, like
Yeah.
the world that we're living in, where it's just so easy to look and say, listen, it's like everybody I go through it.
Everybody going through something. Yeah.
You're right. Everybody's going through it.
Yeah.
And so you look at a man, especially a woman, looking to get married to a man. He
Yeah.
look presentable, but at the same time, he does not carry the capacity to deal with what is going on. Or he's not at that place when it comes to his mental health.
Yeah.
How
not
he
aware.
look, his lens when it comes to marriage, his
Yeah.
lens when it comes to family, his lens when it comes to
Yeah.
being with one woman and being loyal because of his upbringing and the things that he has gone through that you don't even know.
Yeah. And that's also a part of accountability.
Right? And so these are the unions that are coming together because we're compatible, with this,
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're not looking at the real stuff.
Yeah.
Men look at healing as like a feminine thing.
Woman work.
Right? You have so many, especially those that are in marriages now. When you tell a man, your husband say, listen, we need to get healing or we need to go through this.
Doesn't want to go.
He's the first one to say, listen,
I'm good.
we just sit down and we just talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? Him no want go through that because to
Yeah.
him it's feminine. It's not
Facing emotion.
Yeah, you want to we're gonna sit down and tell people what problems and sit down and listen. No, I know it already. I know if I do already.
Yeah.
I was like that, I promise you. When that was introduced to me, listen, hey. You
I
understand?
know what to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But after a while, you realize how important it is because at the end of the day, especially if that person knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
knows what they're about, they're able to pinpoint on stuff that you really did not know
Yeah.
that was going on. And
Absolutely.
it's just for you to be at that place where you're receptive, where you're open, where you can be vulnerable, where you can let your guard down and take it in and say, listen, I love this woman and I'm willing to do the work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love this man and I respect this man and I'm willing to do the work. I love myself and
Yeah.
I respect myself
That's it right there first.
and I'm willing to do the work because I want to grow.
Right.
You don't want to be stuck in a marriage where you're just going around in circles, going around in circles. You want both persons should seek to grow.
Right. Commit to growth.
Right? We want to grow in this. Like there's more to this than just us just bickering every day and me I push my trauma on you and you push your
Yeah.
trauma on me and we're just stuck. There's
Yeah.
more to marriage than that, man.
Absolutely.
Right? There's
Absolutely.
more to marriage than
That's just existing.
that. Like you just stuck until God said, listen, one person need to go and one person need to.
Yeah.
When I say go, I mean
Passing.
pass on.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying, guys? You have to get to that place where you realize how important it is to unbecome. You have to know how important it is to do the work, the self
Yeah.
work.
Yep.
And again, for those that have children, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're not just doing it for your spouse, you're doing it for your child. Because a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages that your children involved, the children are seeing the toxicity, the children are seeing the
Yes.
dysfunction.
And they're also being shaped by it.
And you might feel like, oh, they're not even paying attention. Sometimes you get so riled up and we both at each other and we do all this and we
Yeah.
do all that, and we're forgetting that, listen, there are children there, vulnerable, open, and they're going to mirror what they're seeing. I promise you
Yes.
that they're going to mirror what they're seeing. And so as they grow older,
Yeah.
that same dysfunction is going to follow them like a curse. Because at the end of the day, you refuse to get off your high horses, get to a level where we're saying, listen, I am submitting myself to you, and and I'm hoping you submit yourself to me, and we are submitting ourselves to God, and we are doing the work, not just the spiritual work, but we are doing the soul work, where at the end of the day our lives individually, together as a whole, collectively, and we can flourish. We have to get to that place.
Amen.
If not, you're going to be stuck, man. You're going to be stuck.
Absolutely. Sound words. Great points. And so, before we go, we want to remind you that if there is no accountability, furthermore, before the accountability, if there's no healing of these past imprints or traumatic wounds, then there is going to be little to no accountability or responsibility taken for behavior, for words, and for actions, even for thoughts, because it starts there before we even get to behavior, actions, words, even your thoughts. Follow through is not going to be easy or in existence. And so, if you are not at that place, you're going to analyze that there's a lot of flooding emotionally in your conversations. You're going to be so much overwhelmed by things that are said to you because it's putting you on the spot, it's calling you out, it's exposing you. So the emotional flooding is going to take over. And then this now is going to make you feel so much feelings that you either lash out or you shut down or you shift blame because it can't be you, it must be them. You can't be wrong, it must be them. And so, with this perspective, there is a root wound, there is a root cause to be addressed. There is a root cause to be addressed, and that is why the relationship may not move forward. What is the encouragement tonight? Absolutely do some self searching, analyze how you behave, how you think, how you talk in your relationships, and see if you really need additional support. If you do, please feel free to reach out. That's why we're here. And if you know somebody who you can trust, who is qualified, who is in the area of service like that, reach out to them for the betterment of your relationship and or your marriage. All right?
Yes. Yes.
Anything else you want to add?
Do the work, guys.
Do the work.
Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Work on your marriage. Single people, work on yourself.
Yes.
Work on yourself. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
All
Amen.
right. So see you guys on Monday next week. Thank you guys for being out tonight with us. And please go ahead and share and like if you have not liked. If you're catching the replay, type team replay in the comments as we normally say, and share your thoughts on the topic tonight.
Amen.
God bless you.
What's up, guys? Have a good
Bye-bye.
night. Good night. Good night.